The Artist Life podcast is brought to you by Real Creative Heart. Heavy the head that reps the crown. With love, your greatness is found. So rep your crown.
Live from Buffalo, Art is Life.
Welcome to the Art is Life podcast with your host, Russell C. Holt, where we sit down with artists from all career fields and we discuss their perspectives on their art and what it means to them in life. So sit back, have fun, and enjoy the ride. What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Art is Life. I'm your host, Russell C. Holt. I am joined today. She's a wife, a mother, a nurse, as well as a business owner herself. Nubian Resilience is her company name. And we're going to talk with her. So I would like to introduce my older, smaller sister, Makeda Holt. Oh, my bad. Makeda Devonshire.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining me today. So, like I do with all my guests thus far, I like to give a little background. If you want to tell people give them a little insight on what you do and how you became a nurse and got you into that field, and what made you branch off into getting into your own entrepreneurial space, and getting your own business, and then we can talk about that business.
Okay, so I tended not to be a nurse. I wanted to be a pediatrician, actually, which at the first point I said, oh, I like kids, so why not take care of kids? It'll be a fun job. That was my focus. That was my thought. And when I got to college, that was definitely not the case. So once they told me I had to take all these chemistries, that pretty much was done with being a pediatrician. And I said, nope, not doing that.
Chemistry was also my downfall.
Like chemistry, I was like, no, I am not doing this. I have to take all of these chemistries just to become a doctor? Absolutely not. So the work study job that I worked at, I spoke with some of the other students, and they were like, what about the nursing program? Because I was like, I know I want to do something in the medical field. I went to a high school program for medical, STEP, was called STEP, Science Technology Entry Program. So I did that for 3 years. So I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field, but I just couldn't quite pinpoint it. So once I kind of did some research, once I was in undergrad, I applied for the nursing program, and I was sold, because ultimately I knew I wanted to do something to take care of people sick, whether they were sick or anything that I could do to contribute to their care was one of the sole reasons why I wanted to get into nursing. So once I did get accepted into the nursing program, I went forth from there. But there's so many things that I learned being in the nursing field, that not only do you want to take care of sick people, but you also want to help those who may not necessarily be sick. Anything that you could do to educate, and just pretty much just be there as a person of support, is one of the sole reasons why I transitioned into doing my business, which I now started last year doing body contouring, body sculpting, which is a new kind of a trend. Up this state is really not as familiar with that, but it is definitely a uprising form of non-invasive body services. So I wanted to help with not only my nursing skills, but to assist with body image, increasing positivity, health and wellness, all of that in a sense. So that's what started me into this business.
Nice. So do you mention? Did you mention what did you say? Sparked the interest to start your own business. Start your own business in that field of body contouring. Like, does it go hand in hand
Honestly,
with nursing, or is it just something that you were interested in doing to begin with?
yes and no. I didn't know anything about it until the year I got married. So prior to getting married, I had attended it was a bridal show, and this lady had came up to me and she was telling me about the laser lipo services, and it's not invasive and you can shrink inches in a few hours, ultimately over time with consistent treatment. So I was like, oh, what's this all about? So I actually went and did about I think 6 or 7 sessions. She was doing like a bridal package, and me and her was talking, and she was actually a nurse herself. She was an older lady, but she worked in a hospital for years, and I knew I didn't want to be a floor nurse for the rest of my nursing career. So I didn't really look into it then, but I was interested in knowing more about how I would get into that particular field. So what really pushed me was COVID, honestly. COVID was like a huge eye opener for me, because I have a small child. And that was something that I was like, I'm not about to be sitting here working for other people on their time. I need to be more flexible with my schedule. So that pretty much what really took me out of my comfort zone of being, working for a hospital. And then that's when I transpired into looking and researching on how to open my own business in that field. So
Nice, nice. So since you've opened your business, what are your thoughts? Like, how has it been? How's the process been? Do you enjoy? Have you been enjoying doing what you've been doing
yeah,
outside of?
absolutely. I mean, it's a challenge with anything you do. There's gonna be days where things are gonna be, busy moving, just quick moving, and then there's gonna be times where it's gonna be slow. With just anything. I never went to school for business. Had no idea how business works. I'm still learning day to day. But that's the importance of a business. When you have your own business, you pretty much there's no time frame, no time limit on how you can perfect your craft. You just keep pushing. So I enjoy, seeing clients' faces and their reactions when they're consistent with their services and they see that it works for them.
Nice, nice, nice. Also, you were talking about you have a child, a son, Mason, my nephew, and you still are a nurse, and you are still continuing to work on the business as well as your wife as well. How are you able to juggle all those things and yeah, keep pushing forward and to maintain like and making sure like every aspect of your life is getting the best you.
Well, it's definitely a challenge with that too, but I look at the simple fact that, I don't want my son to want or need anything. So, with that being said, I strive harder regardless of if I'm tired or, I have so many things going on. I have to maintain that consistency so that I know ultimately the end result will be great. So, I just working on time management is the key, which, with me, I try to write everything down. I tend to forget. I'm a human too. But I try to write everything down, try to have a schedule, it's to the best of my ability, and just try to, make time where I need to make time for my son, my husband, my business, my job, and still have a personal life. So, self care is definitely something that I have increased over the years just because I've seen so many people I've worked with that do not take care of themselves in the process, and they just focus solely on working, and they're sick, they're miserable. So those are the things that I have to include. Even if I just go get a 60-minute massage, I'm making sure I do something for myself before I can do anything.
So, what does your self care routine usually look like? You mentioned massage. What else do you tend to do?
I make sure I get a massage. Well, obviously COVID stopped that, but prior to COVID, I used to get a massage at least. I try to get a massage at least once a month. If I wasn't able to get one once a month, then I would just like do it twice the next month. I had a membership with Massage Envy for like 4 years, so I did that. And then I would get a facial or, pedicure every now and again. But I made sure I at least got a massage on a monthly basis. That was part of my self-care.
Nice, nice. So, what's your in terms of the nursing aspect? What does your job entail usually on a day-to-day basis? Because you are not necessarily you said a floor nurse per se, or you're not like a standard nurse that sits in one hospital. You've been doing the more traveling nursing. So do you want to speak on that and what that entails and how that's been?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the type of person where I don't like, and I'm learning that about myself. I don't like to stay in one place too long, because I like the change of it, even though it may be like annoying to have a shift, or it may be a feeling of being a little bit nervous about change. I don't like to be the same routine every single day. So once I get bored, or I'm ready for a challenge, okay, what's the next step? So I've done clinicals, I've taught students, I worked in the school system as a school nurse. I have worked in a clinic as a nurse. I work on the floor in different areas. I worked in different med-surg, like step down ICU unit, you name it. Nursing homes. I supervised in a nursing home too. So I have quite a bit of fan of, different titles when it comes to nursing, because honestly nursing is such a variety. I haven't even scratched the surface of the things that you can do as a nurse. So I definitely want to tap into those things, but it takes time. So right now I'm doing a travel assignment to see what that's about, and then after this assignment I'll see what the next challenge is. So that's how I pretty much go about things.
Nice, nice. Now, can you speak? What are the things you enjoy about the nursing, or in and just like working in your business, and then like some of the challenging things that make it a little more difficult to sometimes get through the days. Like yeah, like why does it continue? Why do you continue to work? I guess as a nerd, like what keeps you?
Drives me?
Yeah, like what is the things that you enjoy about the nursing aspect that,
Well, I look at it like
or in the
this.
health field in general?
Everybody needs somebody that's present. And unfortunately, a lot of times these patients that come in, they don't know, they're not educated. People don't tell them anything. So they're lost. They don't know what to do. And they may come across people who are not present and able to assist them and able to educate them. So I feel like that's part of my purpose, to assist and to educate. One of the challenging things I would say is, like, sometimes I'm tired. I just worked 3 12s in a row, 12 and a half hour shifts. Actually, 2 12s, and I worked the 16 because they bribed me to stay. But I did because they didn't have any staff. So that's definitely a challenge. Working short, having a mass amount of patients when you're not having the assistance to take care of those patients, and putting yourself in a not so safe environment is definitely a challenge. What keeps me going is, like I said, serving and helping my patients. Because I learned that if people are sick, obviously you're not going to have everybody that's just so sweet and kind. You're going to have people that may not be the best, but you have to think about they're sick, they're going through whatever. They don't know how to express whatever they're feeling. So you're their punching bag. You're the person that is there when they're going through it. So, just being pleasant and just keep it going. Like, I'm blessed at the end of the day. So I look at it like, I could be in here laying in the bed and I would want somebody to be nice to me, because trust and believe, they be trying. They try.
Yeah. Kevin Hart had mentioned that too when he had gotten into his accident. He was like, you don't realize things until you're in that position. He was like, when he was talking about getting his butt wiped, it's like, you need a designated butt wiper. Who was gonna be your designated butt wiper? Because it ain't gonna be me. That's for sure. But so that's good. And how about the business aspect? What's the goal, like, or what's keeping you persistent and consistent on doing that? Because I'm sure there's probably more challenges doing that because you're doing it all from scratch and you got to build up the clientele and all that stuff like that. Yeah. But I imagine it would be more rewarding because it's your own thing.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes it can be discouraging. But like I said, I am fairly new. So with anything like typical businesses that started out in the game, you don't want to quit so soon before you actually get your feet wet. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know everything there is to be about business. This is a challenge. This is a learning experience. But to just be like, oh, well, I didn't get 100 clients today, I'm just going to close and shut down my business. Whereas there might be that one person that has been watching me for the time that I opened up, and then they finally said, oh, okay, I might try it. I've had people that's been following me for months. They've never said anything to me, and then out the blue, they had booked an appointment. So you never know what is holding others back. So what I find the most beneficial when I talk to other successful business owners that are in the same field as me or who are doing things in the same field, they always say you have to be consistent. Being consistent is key for those that you want to attract. And when you want to attract people, you have to show them that you know what you're talking about. Because look at me. I know I shop. If I go to a website and they only posting a picture of one outfit and then I don't see nothing else for another 3 months, I'm not going to purchase from that website. Because I'm like, well, how you only going to post one outfit for sale? Yeah.
But what if someone argues and says it's all about quality and not quantity?
Yeah, but how do I know the quality if it's only one?
Yeah.
There's no comparison.
Right.
You can't compare the quality if you're only showing one thing and it's not consistent. So I think about different places that I go and shop, like Fashion Nova. Their marketing game is crazy. They will, when I tell you, text you to death, literally, and it drives you because you like, dang, what they got on sale. Right. So then you go on the site and then you looking like, oh, damn, they got 50-60% off. So that's how they draw you in. So it's a matter of how to attract people.
So I would also say that would be more persistence too. Yeah. Including with consistency, because you got to be consistent with making your products and putting yourself out there, but you also got to be persistent by getting on people, because some people need that push. Right. And actually most people need that push. So yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of people are scared of the unknown. A lot of people are scared to venture off on something that they're not used to seeing. And that's something that I noticed starting this business, that people are like, well, does it hurt? Does it, how does it work? Like, but, other states are more, they have this a little bit down packed a little bit. Buffalo and up here, like upper states, they are just now getting into it. So a lot of people are hesitant because when they think of laser, they like, oh my God, it's gotta hurt. Mm-hmm. Or when they think of, anything with waves, ultrasound waves, or, anything of the sort that may think that it's something that's gonna be harmful to them, they are like, no, I'm not doing it. So it's a challenge, but it you just got to keep going.
Cool. For sure. Persistency, consistency, keys to success. Awesome. So what else? This dang lawnmower, so annoying. So we're talking about that, your passion, stuff like that, what drives you and stuff like that. So, what is your like art of the nursing and like owning your business? What does that mean to you personally? Like, what is having like owning your craft in all your areas of your careers? And you're also a teacher as well. You can talk about that a little bit. But just like, how do you just
Like
what is the passion? Like, what does it mean to you? Like, why are you so passionate about these things? I know you mentioned before you like helping people and like, helping your clients,
I
stuff
don't
like
know.
that.
I just really like to make sure that the person is satisfied, and I just look at it me like I want to be satisfied, especially with body. As people, we have a huge thing when it comes to body image. Everybody wants their body to be this perfect shape. They want everything to be proportioned correctly. So when you have different services or things that's out there that's going to alter that, ultimately that is going to help build self-confidence, self-esteem. So like when I look at the clients that I service, and the things that they want to work on, and they want things that they want to target, and I know I have the skills and the tools to help get them there along with them being consistent. I mean, that's a drive in itself, because that's going to be like, wow, like I could do this without going to get surgery. I could get this done and not have to get cut open. Like I can lay on your table and start my body and go to the grocery store when I leave here. So you giving them the results that they want based on the services, by also making it a convenient situation for them.
So what do you tell your students when it comes to like what would you tell your students, or what do you tell people that are interested in like in nursing or are nurses and are looking to branch off and do their own business? So what would you tell like up and coming students or people that want to be nurses? Like, what are your thoughts on that? And then those current nurses that are looking to expand and be an entrepreneur as well, like yourself.
I tell people to go for it. At the end of the day, like I have students who want to become nurses, and you have to weed those people out that really want to be nurses for the compassion to actually want to serve people, because a lot of people misconstrue the fact that, oh, you're a nurse, you make so much money, da da da. Like, it is not worth it if you're going in for money. I'll tell you that right now, because the pain, the stress, the heartache, the annoyance, everything I could say till I'm blue in the face, is nothing compared to making a certain amount of money if you're not passionate about helping people. And I also tell people the pros and cons of it. I want people to be realistic. You coming and becoming a nurse is not going to be this lovely, wonderful place that you are being told in nursing school when it comes to taking your boards. I mean, when you get to the real world, you're gonna sometimes not have any help. You're gonna have to sometimes stay. If you have a patient that colds, you're gonna have to be present, when it comes to certain situations. So I give them the reality. You cannot take certain things personal. I told I think my last group of students I had, they were like freaking out because COVID happened, and they were all frantic because we were supposed to be going to a site, and they were like, oh no, they say they have my paperwork and I don't have my paperwork, and they all flipping out. So I was just like, try to relax. This is barely scratching the surface. Because once you get out there, it's a whole different world. I said you're gonna have nurses that talk about you. You're gonna have nurses that try to low key bully you because you're new. You have to be prepared, So just trying to prepare them because of things that I went through as a new nurse, things that I still, people try because I don't say nothing. I'll come there, do my work. That's that. I have people who have tried certain things, try to be, funny because of my color, of my skin. So, you have to prepare for all aspects when it comes to being a nurse, in any career. You're going to get profiled. But if you have the mindset and the thought process that you don't take things personally or have a thicker skin, as they call it, then things will be a little bit easier to get through. So a lot of the students that I've had, they have transitioned and they like being nurses. Some, they kind of like fell off the wagon, but that's normal.
Yeah. It's not for the weak-hearted, for sure. And how about those nurses that want to transition and try out the entrepreneurial aspects?
I say, I watch so like over these last few months with COVID, I have watched so many minority women start their own business, and it's amazing to me. Not downplaying men or anything like that, because I know there's some men that has started their own business as well. But as a black woman, it's truly an inspiration to see so many entrepreneurs, even with business careers, nurses, medical doctors, PAs, MPs. But it's just the thought of being financially free and being able to have more time with your family, not solely depending on other people to tell you when and where you have to be, and oh, I got a vacation plan, oh, I gotta see if I can get this time in. Like for me, that was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like I never been the type of person where I want people to tell me what to do anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah,
that works.
so is that the main thing? Because you said if you're doing it for money, then it's not well, for as far as the nursing thing. So what is the importance of, so if it's not for money, what is the goal? Like, what is the reasoning behind being a nurse and then being your own businesswoman?
Well, you want to, like I said before, you want to serve a purpose. Everybody has a purpose in life, and I feel like my purpose is to serve. Whether it's business, it's nursing, or collabing the two together. But I feel like my passion is serving. I never wanted to be a teacher ever in my life, but everything that I stated that I never wanted to do, I did. I had no desire to be a business owner. When I first decided to even become a nurse, that was my sole thing. Nursing is this, nursing is that. Everything is geared towards nursing. So I never had the thought to go outside the box to actually explore those options to become a business owner. I never went to school to become, let's do business. That was never something I was driven to do. So as I have experienced things throughout the years with my jobs and just different life changes and career changes, I have noticed that all of them serve a purpose of being serving others. So I accepted it and owned it, and that's pretty much what is pushing me through. Is like I have a purpose to serve, and whether that is teaching, guiding, mentoring, whatever, I don't know exactly if that's the main thing, but I'm on the path.
Cool, cool. And then as far as the business, just financial freedom or just freedom in general. So you just being your own boss, not people telling you what to do and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, but ultimately, like I said, you want to be able to have the flexibility with life. The way life was set up is not set up to be free. It's set up for you to be conditioned to different ways, and why I can't, have, this business and have a flourishing business and be able to be a wife, a mother, and a family, and we go on vacations and we do this and we do that, and just live life. I mean, I'm not saying that working a job is a bad thing, because it's not, because somebody has to do it, but ultimately,
You gotta pay the bills.
right,
Gotta keep the lights on.
I don't want to. My goal is not to work to just pay bills. You want to be able to reap the benefits. I've seen so many people who just work and work and work just to pay bills or just to make ends meet, and they're miserable.
Yep. Or they have the guys that people that work so hard get a bunch of money and then don't have time to spend it.
Right. And I feel like if you're going to do all of that, you might as well just be broke. Because if you can't even enjoy the time spent with family or friends, or the money that you're making, you're just like, well, I can't take a vacation because I have to work this or I have to work that. It's pointless, because you can't take it with you. So you have to, have some type of fun when it comes to living your life and enjoying it. You want to enjoy your life.
Yeah. And like you were saying, like COVID, I mean, this is a better time than any. Like COVID pretty much forced people to make those decisions, and it's given them an opportunity to work for themselves and build businesses and stuff like that. So people just got to take that leap. And yeah, like jobs are necessary because someone has to do it, but at the same time you should be wanting to do it and be able to do it on your own terms, and not have to rely on someone else telling you when and where you have to work.
Right.
So that is the key to financial success, is the financial freedom to do it whenever you want to, or wherever you want to. So
right. And it also too gives you the flexibility to change. Like, if I have a certain business, who's to say I can't branch off and do another business, or who's to say I can't revamp? Like, for instance, I changed my logo already. I have a whole new vibe. I have a whole new look of my brand. So nobody is like, oh no, girl, you just got that logo, you can't change it. No, I can do what I want. It's my business. So, you have to think about it in that way, where it's like you have the opportunity to steer the gear of how you want to transition, how you want to succeed when it comes to your business, with life, with anything. So those are the things that I think about as a business owner.
yes, indeed. And yeah, so I forgot what I was about to say. I had it too. It's all good. This is, showing you we ain't perfect, but we keep going. You feel me? What was I about to say? Hold on, I need to stop real quick. Yes, and like you were saying, like you change your logo and stuff like that, because you always want to keep learning. They say the moment you stop learning is the day you die. So
Right.
it's always about growth, even if you are established in a particular career, a particular field of some sort. You can always get better and always learn something new in that field, because there's life happens and it doesn't ever happen the same. So
It's unpredictable.
so it's always about being flexible, adaptable, and continuing to learn and grow.
I was watching something like by accident today, or was it last night? I can't remember. Basically, I got a glimpse of it, but it was talking about how people were affected by COVID, and how the stress and everything like that. So there was a doctor on TV that was basically explaining the acceptability of our brain cells actually increased as a positive thing based on the chaos, and not chaos, but about all of the things, the stress and all of that stuff that's been going on. So they was like, well, you actually saying that stress and everything is good for the brain? And what he basically explained is that if you're not using your brain is not able to function better. So in other words, if you're constantly doing something with your brain cells are constantly firing. Those cells that's in your brain are constantly firing, and the way that the brain works, there's electricity that flows through your brain. So if the brain waves are stopped because you just chilling or everything is cool, then that function of your brain starts to slow down. So he was saying that the connection with the emotions, and the thinking, even with stress, all of that part was increased based on some tests that they shown that the brain has been better. So that could also tap into why so many people got the thought of doing business in a pandemic. Because even though everybody was frantic, everybody was stressed, people sat down and said, you know what, I need a different plan. I need something else. What else can I do to be able to get things still taken care of, but if this happens again, I will be prepared. So people's thought processes were different, based on the testing that he tested with the stress. So I thought that was really interesting, just because so many people have benefited from this pandemic, not more so lost from this pandemic. So
Yeah, it's all about getting out of the comfort zone. Yeah, like you're forced into an uncomfortable position, so it forces you to fight, flight, or freeze. So the choice is yours. I mean, on how you're going to respond, because comfortability is actually not something that's good for you. In the words of 50 Cent from his his book Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, comfort is a dream killer. So if you are continually in a form of a state of comfort, then you are not going to grow and you're not going to succeed in life, because life is not a comfortable thing on a regular basis. So it's all about getting stepping out of that comfort zone and being accepting of that uncomfortable state. The only time
that I follow, sorry to interrupt, but one of the nurses that I follow, she's in California. She has a mentorship program, and she has a Facebook group, and she states, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Like, that's the only comfortable thing you should be accepting in your life, is the fact to be uncomfortable. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable that's the only way to be.
So if you're not being uncomfortable, then you're not challenging yourself or forcing yourself to take yourself to the next level. And that's exactly what I felt. With being in business, I wasn't sure. I still didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then it's like, as time passed and I started connecting with other people, things started to flow. But even if it doesn't flow, okay, what's the next step? What angle do I need to go to? Because now I'm comfortable. So now I need to get out of my comfort zone, and I need to get out of the worry stage, and I need to figure out what's the next step that I need to do to get to the next level.
Yeah. And it's also like, it doesn't have to be this drastic big leap of faith, leap of craziness. Like, you take it baby steps, one step at a time. Like what they say, how can you eat an elephant, or how do you eat like a lion or whatever type of food. And I know we don't eat that type of stuff, but you get the idea. So it's one bite at a time. So it's like, you don't go leap in full head first, like off rip. You gotta, take it one step at a time. And that's where the growth in the process, and trusting the process, and in living in the moment, that's where all the good stuff and the magic really happens. So yes, Makeda, thank you for this time. I just have 2 more questions, or 3 or so, I guess. Oh, whatever. But what's next for you? What's next on the agenda? And you have a opening. By the time this comes out, your storefront will be officially open on East Utica, or is it East Utica? Mm-hmm. East Utica and Main Street. Nubian Resilience will be open. So once that's open, and what's next? What are you hoping to achieve by the end, or by the end of the year, or just in the future?
Just basically expanding. So expanding my business to the best that I can, opening up different areas. I'm working on a few things, so trying to get those things in order. I keep getting so many people telling me, you need to teach, you need to teach, you need to teach. So I'm working on trying to figure out the next step as far as actually teaching the classes that I do the services with, for those who are interested in learning themselves and wanting to do their own business. So that's something that I probably will be having started by the end of the year. I plan to, and full-fledged moving forward with everything come next fall.
Cool.
Well, next spring rather. Sorry, not fall.
Nice. So how can we and those who want to support and follow your journey and stay in touch with you, how can we follow you?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook at Nubian Resilience by Makeda LLC. That's my business page on Facebook. Also, my Instagram is Nubian_Resilience. And you can also visit our website, which is www.nubianresilience.com, if you wanted to get any information about our services, anything about when to book. All of that is on our website. So if you have any questions, you can have access to my contact information. You can also text or call 716-712-4931. All of that is also listed on the website as well.
Cool. Thank you again, guys. Remember Nubian Resilience on East Utica and Main Street.
11 East Utica.
11 East Utica and Main Street. Yeah, probably need the number. Suite number 3. And body contouring. What else would
we do? Body contouring, laser lipo, body wraps, detox, teas. I also offer vaginal rejuvenation now.
Oh, snap.
Yoni steams. Hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to start doing some customized wellness plans for our clients so that we can do the whole body. Everything is come to play, not just body contouring, but also we'll be doing some post-op services as well.
You heard there, folks. Remember to follow her. Check her out. Nubian Resilience by Makeda LLC on Facebook and Nubian_Resilience on Instagram. And the website, www.nubianresilience.com. Awesome. Makeda, thank you once again. Final question. When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to look like?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know.
I have a vision. I have a vision of royalty. Royalty is a thought that keeps going through my mind, and that's when I came up with those colors, when I came up with the name and just the vision of everything. My name comes from royalty. If those who don't know what Makeda means, she was the Queen of Sheba. So I am taking that seriously when it comes to my legacy. I have a son, so he has to be a young king in the making. So anything that I do has to be royal.
And that's that. No need to follow. Yeah. No follow-up necessary. Makeda, thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for joining me as well on another episode. And you already know how we do, guys. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings.
Bye.